Hello, my name is Kirsty Styles, reporting for I Am SUPERFOXX on political issues, political issues of the day. I'm going to try and make it as informative and entertaining as possible. Please bear with me, it's a bit of a dry topic. So today, or this week, the government has launched its comprehensive spending review to show us where we're up to in terms of government spending and how they would attempt to address government spending going forwards. So they've obviously launched a whole wave of new cuts, a lot of which would not come into force until 2015, which is when the next election would take place. So many of which might not come into force at all. But it's cuts all the way from many departments. The government argues that government spending has been too high during the last Labour government, and they are trying to get hold of get a rein on that kind of spending. So cuts of 10% to the energy department, the Department for Justice, and communities and local government, which has actually already had a 50% cut in real terms. And those are the people who look after your social care, the care of elderly people, as well as local leisure centres, local libraries, things that you can really feel changing around you. They've said that they're going to protect the defence budget, of course, and give a 3.4% increase to the budget for counter-terrorism surveillance, which is actually a bit of a prickly subject, given how we can see that the government and the US government have been monitoring the actions and the communications of people in both countries. The Labour Party are having a crisis of identity, an identity crisis. They have said that they actually agree with the cuts, despite the fact that they are in opposition. You might expect an opposing argument. They've bought into them wholeheartedly, in spite of the fact that they have pointed out that this was not Plan A. This was not what the Chancellor George Osborne said needed to happen. He said that all of the cuts would be finished with by 2015. They've now said, oh, cuts beyond there, cuts up to 2018. Are something that we agree with as well. So somebody like Save the Children have launched a response to the comprehensive spending review and said that this means that families are going to be £90 worse off every month under the cuts outlined by George Osborne. And women, as we know, throughout from 2010 until now, are more likely to be hit, given that they are more likely to be public sector workers, and 144,000 jobs are being lost in the public sector, and they are more likely to access services and to receive in-work benefits. And there is obviously an issue here with people needing to receive benefits who are actually in full-time employment. Low wages are being supplemented by the state, and high rent costs again are being supplemented by the state. And Boris Johnson, our hilarious Mayor of London, said that there will be no cap on rents in London because this would dampen the market. I would argue that if there was a rent cap in London, or if there was more access to housing, for people to buy housing, people like you and me, then we would not be in the same situation that we are in now. So the comprehensive spending review doesn't address the kind of issues that are important to me, and appears to attack people on low wages, people who would be affected by a welfare cut, people who are on disability living allowance, people whose lives are so wholly different to the people that we see working in the cabinet. And we look to the Labour Party to offer some kind of alternative. The People's Assembly met a couple of weeks ago to try and devise what that alternative would be. Things like bringing energy into public ownership, bringing the railways into public ownership. They're a natural monopoly. It's very difficult to have competition in something that is just one track or one pipe going to a house or from city to city. So I'm not surprised and not excited about the announcement this week. And we will look forward to hearing more similar announcements from our great government in coming months and years as we get into the next election.